Well, every mechanical these days has a practice head. And for a couple seconds there, we thought, let's just do what we've always done, but that's not us. So we started over, just like we did with the mechanical. You know, let's just start from scratch. Let's not take anything for granted. And so what we found is most guys, that anxiety, going from a broadhead, you know, that first day in the field is really kind of unnerving because they've been practicing with field tips the entire time. And so a lot of guys wanted to actually shoot with their real head. But we thought, well, why don't we just build a practice head like a field tip, but also have it fly like a broadhead, because they aren't the same. So that's what we did, and we came up with the ballistically matched point, or what we call the B.M.P. Basically a field tip in the sense that you can shoot it into any target, bag targets, foam targets, it doesn't matter. If you shoot it into your expensive foam target, it's not going to eat it up. They're cheaper to use, you know, than the actual broadhead or even the practice heads, but they fly exactly like that broadhead. And so what we found is every head has its own aerodynamics or ballistics profile downrange. So with our wind tunnel, what we were able to do was first take the DeadMeat in all of its iterations and field tips, and you can see some of those behind me, and I'm holding one here as well, that we were able to print 3x scale. And what we were able to do then was to present it in the wind tunnel for head-on drag, and then also to get the crosswind drag coefficients. So basically the amount of force that the air is pushing on that shape in all the different directions. And so that way we can go through the iterations and iterations. The physical testing, we did about actually 40 real-life physical 2-scale heads that we actually physically tested on our shooting machines. But here we did, I think, roughly around the 80 to 90 pieces. And so we went through a lot of iterations to find out, you know, can we get that head-on drag and crosswind drag to be within, you know, less than 4% of what the DeadMeat actually is, to where the field tip could be anywhere from 18 to 70% different on the head and crosswind, especially the crosswind drag. And that's where if you're shooting your broadheads out in the wind, even if it's a slight breeze, and you're hitting left and right, it's because there's so much more surface area for that wind to grab and push that arrow off compared to a field tip. So it doesn't even matter how well you tune your bow, there's just more surface there for that to push. And what we were able to do is develop between those scoops and different things in there to get that to fly just like the DeadMeat, within about 80% or more closer than what the field tip was or will impact downrange. It doesn't matter what arrow, spine, what kind of tune your bow is, what kind of knock travel is, any scenario, that B.M.P will fly like the DeadMeat. And we tested that all the way out to 80 yards. So the B.M.P is a perfect match to the DeadMeat. We tested it and developed it in our wind tunnel. We proved it out on the range that it's 80% closer to the actual head than the field point is. So no more worrying, no more anxiety about going from behind the house to the field. The B.M.P resolves all that. Well, the wind tunnel is actually about a mile behind us, so it looks a lot smaller than it is. It's really about $20 million. And actually, we had to kick the NASA guys and the SpaceX guys out of here for a day just to film this because it's such kick butt.